Hey guys, to shorten up the waiting time for No Man's Sky, I decided to present you 3 books. Those 3 are my all-time favorites and I did read really a lot, so you might want to have a look at those. Links to them are in the description, by the way. The first one is an occult novel from Gustav Meyrink and it's called The Green Phase. The second one is about my beloved hobby, the stock market. It's from Andrei Kostolany and it's called The Art to Think About Money. And the last one is science fiction. It's called The Hyperion Cantos from Dan Simmons. But let's start off with The Green Phase from Gustav Meyrink. It's basically a guide how you can overcome your body and become a spiritual being. But as you dig through the story of the protagonist, you find out that it even is much more than that. If used the right way, this book can unleash extreme powers in yourself. So you might want to use it with caution as well. What you should do is, you need a lot of time for that book. You might read a few sentences and then you might need a break for 1 hour to think about it. So always work yourself through that book and not just read it somewhere on the beach where your girlfriend is talking to you. You really need to concentrate and you want to be alone for that book, maybe in a dark room as well. You also need to decide when to read this book in your life. If you have pressure in your work or other life issues, you might not want to start this one. Your mind should be totally free for the bomb it will drop. Otherwise you will just see the words but don't understand the meaning behind it. If you're doing it right, you have the chance to look into eternity with this one. It sometimes even feels like an LSD trip. Keep floating in the ideas the book is giving you and you will have a total blast. Trust me that. The next one, The Art to Think About Money from Andrei Kostolany. It's about the stock market, like I said. But it's also a lot more. With small stories, he decided to explain the stock market and the background how to think about money. And it's really totally cool, because normally thinking about money has something negative in our society. But like he puts it, it gives you a complete twist for the rest of your life. You have to know it's no technical book. It's more like a grandpa who tells you a story about his life. Sure, you have to be open-minded to capitalism, money and the stock market, because otherwise your brain will just shut down and you don't get the points what he will raise. At the end with this book you will learn a lot more about humans than you might learn about the stock market and money, but you see that there's a kind of a connection between those two things. And honestly nobody else was able to pull that one off except Andrei Kostolany. It's a really fun read and you should try it out, if you're at least a bit interested in those topics. The last book I present to you is The Hyperion Cantos from Dan Simmons. And honestly, this book is the best science fiction of all times. They even call it Lord of the Rings of science fiction. The ideas in this book are unmatched. I've never read something like that and I was really extremely excited turning around every page of that book. The book is so outstanding because it combines everything you ever know. It's combining humans, tech, God, religion, spiritual things. It's a combination of everything and the solution of everything and how everything interacts. It's totally amazing, trust me that. The book starts with a few people telling themselves stories, how they come to a journey. And every story in its own is really totally fun and very exciting. The writing style of the book in general is sometimes really brutal, but at the same moment totally funny as well. I had to laugh a lot with this book. It's a really strange feeling. The further you go into the book, the more exciting it will get. The stuff how he connects the stories with each other and everything has meaning is unmatched in any book I've ever read. I often just laid down the book and thought to myself, hey man, this is totally amazing. When all pieces come together at the end of the book, it just totally blows your mind. If you like science fiction only in the slightest way, you might also just be interested in religion, tech, or spiritual things, you just need to read this book and trust me, you will love it. Dan Simmons just pulled off a complete masterpiece. I hardly believe anybody will ever be able to match this one. It's really that good. So that's basically it for my book presentation. I will put the links into the description where to find those books on Amazon. Like the video please and subscribe to my channel. I hope you guys enjoyed it and see you next time. Ciao.